Welcome to the Musicians Creating Prosperity podcast. In today's episode, we tackle a very important subject, which is overcoming your money limiting beliefs. I cannot wait to show you how you can release what's holding you back and unleash your unlimited potential as it relates to creating financial prosperity. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Musicians Creating Prosperity podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a transformative subject that, if you get it right, will give you so much freedom to build prosperity in your business, and that is your money limiting beliefs. This is so important because if you are able to release the fears that you have around money, around pricing, and around overall your relationship with money, you'll be able to actually tap into the abundance that's available to you as a creative entrepreneur. There's so much prosperity and abundance when you shift the way you relate to money and perhaps let go of limiting beliefs. So I'm hoping that in this episode, we can uncover strategies to show you how there's actually more wealth than you can actually handle at this point, even if you've been struggling to build it. And what are some ways that you can release your perhaps limiting beliefs around abundance, around scarcity, and around what's actually possible for you as an artist. Common belief that I want us to overcome first and foremost is that starving phrase. Like, let's just get rid of that. Let's just get rid of that once and for all, because what I've learned to understand after, living a life as a musician myself and working with so many musicians and helping them build prosperity in their businesses is that the way you relate to money will make or break your ability to create it. It's that simple. If you believe that money is scarce, if you believe that there's not enough opportunities, if you believe that people won't pay what you want to charge, then that perspective will be validated by the world around you. And your brain will find ways to prove your perceptions. If you think you can, as Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you are right. So the first thing we need to talk about in readdressing your relationship with money is, how do you relate to it? The problem with this is that your current money beliefs are not yours. They may have been ingrained by your subconscious just exposure as a child to those around you, to the conversations you heard your parents say about money, to the way people treated you, and the way you grew up relating to money. And this is a very important reflection that I'm going to encourage you to make as you're listening to this episode is, where in your life have you been telling yourself stories around money that no longer serve you? How can you start identifying beliefs that are no longer true and that will only hold you back if you continue focusing on the lack or the scarcity or the perhaps inaccessibility of money? Number one. Number two, understanding that in this process, there will be some resistance. You will face resistance from those around you. You will face resistance even within yourself in letting go of these notions because you've been thinking in this way for all your life. And so as in anything new, when you start adopting a new belief system, there's resistance. There's this feeling of like, who am I to think I can deserve more, I can earn more? Why would I believe that this is possible? I've always seen money as something that didn't come easy to me, or whatever your beliefs are. I'm not saying they're always going to be negative, but chances are, if you're like most musicians, most of your beliefs around money are limited and they're based on a negative background. And if not, congratulations, you're among the rare exceptions. I'm not saying you're not going to have that, but what I hope is that you can start reframing, where do your beliefs come from? Can you identify where are these narratives? If it comes from your personal childhood, maybe your spouse or the friends that you have around you, it's time to reconsider your circle, okay? You need to look for people who are going to embrace your desire for growth, who are going to support you, who are going to believe in you. And if you're not having anyone around you that sees what you're trying to create or is willing to support you, it's time to start looking further and expanding your circle, because believe it or not, the people that surround you will impact how you relate to money. And if you're surrounded by naysayers and people who think it's not available, or you're crazy for wanting more or feeling that you deserve more, then that will have an impact in your mindset and in your limiting beliefs. So you don't need to just inherit the mindsets that you grew up with. You can choose to change those, but it starts with taking a hard look at your existing environment. Now, when you can change from that perspective to seeing money as a tool for good and embracing the fact that wealth is a vehicle for change, if you are serious about creating a difference, making a difference in other people's lives through your knowledge, through your work, you want to make the world a better place when you leave it, then you're going to need to fund that. You're going to need resources. You're going to need to have a way of funding that vision. And so the more you can look at building wealth as an avenue for prosperity, a way for you to actually grow your mission and not think of it as something evil. It's in a way, it's hard not to think of it that way, because we've been conditioned as a society to associate wealth with evil. And so I think part of this process will be you understanding that money can amplify your mission, and it doesn't have to change you or change the noble intentions that you have. It's actually a vehicle for impact, and being okay with wanting that. Not only feeling that you need it, but also being okay with perhaps wanting more than you need. That's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to just aim. I speak with a lot of musicians who say, oh, I just have very small ambitions. I don't want to make a lot of money. I just want to be able to make what I need to just stay alive or go by with my basic necessities. And to a certain extent, there's a level of pride in that perspective. And I want to encourage you to actually be okay with wanting to be a millionaire, wanting to be a billionaire, wanting to have all the wealth that is available for you, because you will always turn it into good. If you have a mission to help people, you want to make a difference, you want to build community, you want to share your art, having more wealth will only empower you to amplify that and to make better decisions and to make a bigger impact. So do not reframe or think that it's bad for you to want more. Embrace it, journal it, and go into it. Now, the next step is creating a routine for reframing your perspective around money. And journaling is one of the best ways that you can do that. If you've ever read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, one of the best recommendations is making it a daily habit, a practice of writing your money goals, your financial goals, and seeing them on a piece of paper on a regular basis. Because the more you're putting your thought and energy and attention into the vision of what you want to create, the more you're actually going to find opportunities and ideas and coincidences in your day-to-day activities that will help you reach those goals. So create a habit, find a way to journal on it on a daily basis. Maybe build a routine of daily affirmations. Maybe think about it when you meditate. Any practice that you can do on a daily basis will allow you to make this so much more tangible and ultimately make it a realistic part of your life. And then finally, one habit that I really recommend you do is to track your progress around your financial. Like, how are you tracking the money that you are making? Even if it's not you, if you can have someone on your team or delegate that for someone who has better accounting skills than you, have a system of tracking your financial progress. If you set a goal, are you tracking what are the things you need to take action on in order to reach that goal? Are you tracking how close are you on a weekly, daily, monthly, yearly basis towards those goals? Have a system of tracking, because when you have data, you can make better decisions. And that will ultimately inspire you to take the leap of faith, to take the actions that up until now you may have been reframing from, simply because you're not sure what it's going to lead to, right? So really important. There's an element of emotional connection with money. I want to encourage you to, when you think about money, tap into your emotions. Look in your body. Where do you get tight? Do you feel like talking about money makes you tight in your stomach, tight in your chest, tight in your shoulders? I usually see many musicians that I speak to about money that they start to feel like tense just from thinking about it. So even as you listen to this episode or you watch this video, are you feeling uncomfortable? Are there any areas in your body that are like responding or reacting to it? If so, then that's a sign that you have some money work to handle even before you think about pricing or handling objections or talking about sales with clients. We need to tackle this deeper issue. How do you relate with money? And can you reconcile, rewire your brain to start seeing the opportunities and changing the stories that may have been holding you back? It's time to create prosperity. I hope this helps. Let me know your takeaways. Until next time, let's prosper together.